Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Touching You Talk Show. My name is Elder Sheila Black, and I have two very special guests with me today. I have Jonathan and Brea Dingle. How are you today?
We are
Bless.
blessed.
How
We
are
are blessed and
you?
honored to be on the call with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I am so happy that you are here. I normally ask my guests how long have we known each other, but guess what, guys? We just met, and it has been a pleasure. Just in the few minutes that we have had to briefly talk before the show, I just want to first start out by saying thank you to our program director today, Miss Alice Warren, and she has recommended some wonderful guests. If you have enjoyed the show, let me tell you, more than likely, Alice Warren is the one who recommended the guest. So these two are connected to her, and I am so delighted and glad that they are here on the show. So, first of all, tell me about yourself. You start out, Jonathan. Where are you from?
So, born and raised Aiken, South Carolina. Moved to Texas. Me and my wife, we live in Dallas, Texas now. That's where our home office is for our business. Moved to Texas in 2011 to go to Prairie View A&M. That's where I got my bachelor's from. I played tennis there for 4 years. I was an All-American tennis player while I was there. This is my college sweetheart. Yes. So I've been with her since we were 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, roughly about 19, 20 years old. I'm the oldest of five. So three boys, two girls. All of the guys are married. We're just working on getting those next two. I'm excited about them too. And we have two beautiful children.
Wonderful. So, what about you, Bria?
Yeah, so okay, well, I was born in Hillsboro, Texas, but raised in Dallas, Texas. I don't know if you know where Hillsboro is, a little small town in Texas, but raised in Dallas, been here pretty much the majority of my life. I did go to Prairie View, I went out to Prairie View to be with my sister, met my husband out there, a lot of lifelong friends. And I do want to say, I know you kind of shouted out Miss Alice, so definitely shout out to Miss Alice because she is an amazing woman. But that is where we met, is out in Prairie View. We moved down to Dallas, and we've been together well, really since Prairie View. We've been inseparable ever since, but been out here in Dallas building our legacy and trying to, make a path for ourselves.
So, you mean to tell me marriage is working for young people, huh?
Yes,
Oh yes, I definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it.
Five
These
stars.
streets are not for everybody.
So, how have you kept it together this long? So, how long have you been married?
So
Married for
2018,
4 years
4 years.
together for 9. It'll be 10. In 2 weeks.
Yeah, technically, yeah. We've been together roughly 10 years, married for 4. And I mean, I think just keeping it together, I mean, we're like best friends. When I tell you, like, he's my best friend, even when I don't necessarily like him in every regard I should, he's my best friend. So I'm like, oh, I got to tell you this. Oh, I got to tell you that. So I think keeping that best friendship, and of course, God at the center, God and our friendship is what's kept us all together, what kept us both together.
Yeah. And I don't think that young people need to be afraid of marriage.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing wrong with monogamy. There's nothing wrong with going against the grain when it comes to how people think you should be living your life as a young person. If God put somebody in there that's supposed to help you grow and be an asset and treat you the way that you're supposed to be treated, nourish it, grow it.
That is wonderful. So, tell me about your business. Let's talk about that. Um,
Hit that first.
Well, sure, yeah.
Okay.
So we are, first of all, we're in a business that loves partnership. What we've always realized is that two people who've committed to doing life together can definitely build a business together if you have, the same dreams, the same goals, and the same, ambitions. I guess, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, ambitions. So he and I work in the financial services industry. We got licensed together. We build with people together. We plug in and learn together. We read together. So like, literally just going through and trying to learn the ins and outs of the financial industry to at least take everyone, but especially our community to the next level, just because I feel like there's a ceiling that we keep hitting, and that ceiling is finances. Once we as a community definitely get our finances in order, there's no stopping us. So that is our goal, is to go out, educate the community. We put together plans to make sure that they're on track for their goals and dreams. And then we help them execute those goals and dreams through products and coaching, because that's what we are. We are licensed financial coaches.
Yes, ma'am. We've been practicing the last 7 years. It just started off me and her. you know,
And our mom.
and our mom,
And our mom.
yes, and our mom. My mother-in-law, Nikki Williams, amazing lady. Um, if it wasn't for her, we actually wouldn't have been in financial services.
Yeah.
So I love the business. It's more than just about the money. It's really about the impact because we don't have enough. Unfortunately, we don't have enough African Americans in the financial service industry, and we want to make sure that one, our kids can't say that same thing, and that we can be the change that we want to see in the world. You know, because that's really the difference between being rich, being in poverty, and being in that middle class is your mindset and your access to information. And we can fix both of those things if you are open to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some of the barriers that you've seen in the African American community that has been holding us back?
I think belief. I don't think that a lot of us, well, a lot of African Americans even necessarily believe that they can reach some of the goals that they are, going for, or, have fathomed, dreamed of, any of the goals that God has placed on our hearts, because we haven't seen it be obtained in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see it on TV. We think the only way you can reach those goals is through, maybe sports or the music industry, where there's so many different ways to make sure that you're set up financially. It's just all about education, and we're not educated at a young age. A lot of us are playing catch up. Once we get older, we're trying to like undo some of the bad things that we've done through trial and error, and then try to get on track to go forward. So I think it's belief. I think that as an African American community, we don't see enough success. A little bit, like a little bit. I'm kind of like on the fence with that, because in the industry that I am in, I do see a lot of African Americans who are extremely successful, who are extremely disciplined. But I think that what that disconnect is belief. I think that's all it is. It's just believing that we can even achieve some of the things that we put our mind to.
And I think to kind of piggyback off of that, for me, it would be discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a lot of success stories. But the difference between you and a success story is your discipline and commitment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel like right now we make money. We've been taught to make money in different industries. It doesn't matter how we make our money. We are good as a community at making money. It's just what we do with what we do with it once we get it. You know, it's very easy to make a million and then blow a million. You know, so it's the discipline, the in between, and the consistency that really, I think, if we as a community equip ourselves with the knowledge and our discipline and making sure that, hey, I'm at least putting 250 a month away. You know, that's not hard. We're
Right.
talking maybe $65 a week. Come on, that's not hard to do. That's one nice lunch. So just being disciplined and actually committing to the goals that we say that we want, and doing whatever we have to do to make it happen.
So, how is it someone can hit the lotto, make $1 million, and then be broke within a year? How do they do that?
If you're not used to having money, you're going to go buy everything you thought you ever wanted, not even necessarily needed, but everything you thought you ever wanted. Most things that we want are depreciating assets, like these cars, things like that. They're depreciating assets, and so that's how you can. It's very easy to make a million and blow a million if you are just going out there buying everything and not investing. The key to keeping that million is investing. And I think that's where we all need to start really early. It's just investing. It could take just very little, but we just got to start investing. So it's very easy to blow a million, especially, I can probably think of a couple ways, couple houses, cars, trips, family members, so definitely.
I think we just got to change how we spend our money.
Yeah.
And prioritize what we should be prioritize when we spend our money. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, just because you had it don't mean you need to get it today. And that's all on how we value ourselves, how we see ourselves. If you see yourself as a billionaire, you getting a million isn't going to suffice because it's not a billion. But if I only see myself making 50,000 a year, 60,000 a year, when I do get a million, my cognitive dissonance is thrown off. So I'm gonna do everything I can to get back to where I'm comfortable, which is at that 60,000. Which is why it's so easy for people to get the money and then blow it because they never planned on having it to begin with. So what do I need to think long term for? And I think that's some of the conversations that we need to start having. It's like, hey, you can get it, but once you get it, what's step number 2, 3, and 4? Don't just think about step number 1. Let's think about the big picture. because it's not just about you, it's about your kids, and those generations coming behind you.
So, how does society impact us? Meaning, like the media, everybody's looking at the Beyonces and the people that have all the money and the athletes, and how is society making us feel like we have to, have all this stuff that we have to show off? How does society affect us financially and our thoughts and our thought pattern?
Well, Elder Sheila, I'm glad you asked that question. In my opinion, society has trained us to be motivated and moved by fear, propaganda, and part of that has created a poverty mindset. So you asked how are we moved and motivated? It's because they know that all I got to do is get on the media and scare you a little bit to get you to do what I want, whether that be the right thing, the right action, or the wrong action. I know you'll be moved by fear, or I know I can freeze you where you are by fear. And I think that's one thing that as men and women of God, we have to know going in. It's like, okay, they're just trying to scare you, but they're the ones afraid of you because the God has promised you abundance and prosperity. But guess what? There's a level of work and discipline that comes with getting that. But if you're afraid, what do most people do? If I can, so the devil knows all I got to do is get you afraid, and I can manipulate you. And all I have to do is figure out what it is that you're afraid of, and keep it in your face long enough to make you miss your blessing.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me about some of the services that you provide. Well, first of all, let me ask you this. Now, I was speaking with a young lady who her husband had passed away, and she was young like you guys, and she and her husband had bought a home. They had just bought a brand new 5-bedroom home, and they had a car and they had all of this stuff, and then he suddenly got sick and passed away. And the one thing that she realized is that insurance is not just to bury people, that and how important it is to have insurance to help the family sustain financially after the death. So, can you talk a little bit about how important it is to have insurance and how that affects us financially?
Absolutely. So insurance is like the best kept secret to first generational wealth. Like the one thing we are guaranteed is death. We're going to die. But the thing is, we have to prepare our families and for our passing. We don't know when it's going to be. We don't know. We're not guaranteed. I mean, if we did, we go buy the insurance policy the day before. But it's one of those things that I'd rather you buy it 5 years too soon than 5 minutes too late, because insurance, of course, it goes off of our age and our health. So the younger we are, the better. Don't think, oh, I'm young and I'm healthy, I got time. That is the worst thing to think. And a lot of us do think that, we think insurance is so taboo. Oh, I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna die. You're probably gonna die anyway, so you might as well have it, right? So, I mean, insurance, like you said, it's not just for the burial. Yes, we have to take care of the burial. But the thing is, if we have mom and dad, maybe 4,000, mom is making 4,000, dad's making 4,000, where that household is living off of 8,000 worth of income. Well, if dad unfortunately does not come home, well, mom has $4,000 worth of income with $8,000 worth of bills. That's where insurance comes in. It's not just for burial, it is income replacement. We have to start thinking of insurance as income replacement. So, like, kind of in the situation you were talking about, prayerfully, they had enough coverage to like cover the house. The house is one of the first things that are to go when someone passes away, because you can't afford the house, the bills, like everything, right? That's where that insurance it comes in. It's that buffer. It's that like the donut on your car, right? Instead of you losing your tire, you can put on a donut to get you to your destination. Of course, it's not going to replace the tire, it's not going to replace the husband, it's not going to replace the wife or the person who just passed, but it does set your family up to be able to continue the marathon even when we're no longer here. And that's the thing, we're not going to be here forever, so we have to make sure they're together. So insurance is like the number one necessity. I feel like once we become of age and start working, like even before then, our parents need to have it on us, but just we need to get insurance as quickly as we can, and a lot of it, and the right kind. That is really important. It's not enough just to have insurance. You need to have the right kind and be doing the right things all around with the finances. So making sure that you have the right kind of insurance that it's going to do what you want it to do, because death is too late to find out that it doesn't work how you want it to. And then just making sure to throw in the investment tip that you're still investing, because insurance is for our family in the event that we're not here. What happens when we do live? A lot of the times we do live. And then you find yourself older and maybe not really having the things that we need. Well, we have to do both. We have to be disciplined in our finances all around. So with that being said, insurance is the biggest and most important thing that we can own. I mean, it is honestly even more important than, some of the little minuscule things that we have. We insure our cars, we insure our phones, but you mean to tell me you don't insure your life? Your life is worth more than that phone, or those shoes, or that car to your children or to your spouse. So absolutely, insurance is the number one best kept secret to first generational wealth, because we are guaranteed death and our family needs to be set up regardless.
Yep. And think about it like this, Elder Sheila. I want you to imagine this. All righty. The reason insurance is so important is because this is how so many other communities have become millionaires and billionaires. All righty. Imagine this. Imagine your grandmother left your mother $300,000 in the 20s and 30s. How different your life would have been growing up. And imagine had your mom, hopefully she's still alive, but if she's not, you know what I'm saying, knocking on wood, has she passed you 500,000 or 750,000? How different your life and your kids' life would have been growing up. It's not a. The thing is with life insurance is death is guaranteed. So you're either setting your family up for success or you're putting them backwards. You know that old school song, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he left, his hat was his home. But when he died, all he left us was alone. He left us alone because he wasn't there, but he also passed down his debt. And I'm tired. And it's one thing that the community says so much that irks my soul is that we have to get out the mud. But we have to get out of the mud most of the time because people only buy burial policies. So you're putting that life insurance money right in the ground. And yes, we believe in sowing seeds, but I ain't putting that money in the ground. I need that. We need
I
that.
think I see.
Yes, ma'am. So that's why it's so important, because that's how I guarantee that my daughter and son's lives are better, because I was here. Even if I don't become a millionaire through my hard work and day-to-day life, if I have $1 million policy, as long as I pay my bill and I don't die in one of those exclusions, I just passed $1 million to my family, and I was only bringing in 60,000 a month, 60,000 a year. You
Wow.
know, it's our mindset that we need to change. If I have $50 or $100 to protect this hunk of metal that could kill me, I need to be able to budget 60 to 100 or $120 to take care of my wife and my kids.
So let me tell you what a man told me when I was 18, and I wish I would have listened to what he said. And he was a Caucasian man, and he said that at your age, if you put away 10% of your earnings and don't touch it, and you continue to do that, by the time you get my age, you will have more money than you can ever imagine. Did I listen to him? Now,
Mhm.
Oh,
if I think about, should I
yeah.
have listened to him? Absolutely. So talk about how you were saying in the beginning, it only takes a little to get started, and that you have to be disciplined and don't touch it. So talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so it does. I think people don't invest because we think you have to, pick the right stock, or know what you're doing. You just really need to pay yourself first. Put just a little bit away. Like he said, 10%. 10% of your income, right? You can invest with as little as $25 a month, as little as $50 a month. It does not take a lot, but the benefit is starting early. Because the thing is, you cannot time the market. It's about time in the market. So if you were to put away, let's say you maxed out an IRA for maybe the first 6 to 10 years of your working life and you never invested again. Do you know that that person that maybe started at 18 and stopped at 25 versus a person that started at maybe 25 doing the same amount, the same maxing out of an IRA each month, that person who stopped at 25 would still have more money accumulated than the one who started at 25 and continued through retirement age. And it's because of time in the market. They have more time in the market to take advantage of the market's ups and downs, because that's what the market's going to do. The market's going to go up. The market's going to go down. We cannot control the market. All we can do is go off of the, historical things with the market. What has it done? What is it potentially going to do? So you can't like necessarily say, oh, this year it did this, so I need to go ahead and invest. No, you have to start investing through the market's ups and downs, because that's what gains wealth, is investing equal intervals in a fluctuating market. And the market's going to fluctuate. It's doing this right now. All the beginning of the year has been doing this. But if you know better, you know that is the best time. Like, people get so afraid when the market is down. But if we knew better, we know that's the best time to get in the market. The market is on sale, honey. Like, it is on discount, right? You thought that you were buying this for $100, but it is on sale for $25 each, right? So where you thought you were only getting one, you got four, so just investing early, starting as soon as you can. I mean, as soon as you start working, you at least need to start putting away $25 to $50 into an IRA, into just an account that you do not touch, and do not touch it. Be disciplined enough. I mean, you're going to get penalized if you touch it anyway. So just don't touch it. Let it sit there and keep growing for you. When it is time for retirement, when you look up, you're going to be excited that you started as early as you did. A lot of us think of retirement as an age. Retirement is not an age. Unfortunately, it's a number. You have to have enough money invested to be able to sustain your lifestyle in order to retire, which is unfortunately why we do have so many of our elders that are back at work, or they're still working. It's not that they want to be, they just still need income coming in. And investing in our early years is what is going to set us up to have that income coming in when it is time for us to no longer work, or when we're not able to work anymore. Sometimes retirement isn't always voluntary, So definitely, I wish for you would have started at his age, but I'm sure you caught up and you started doing what you needed to do. And same, I mean, we learned some principles earlier and did not start actually, abiding by those principles until maybe a little bit later. And we kick ourselves all the time. We're like, dang, I can't believe we did this. Dang, I can't believe we did that. So definitely something that if you can, start as early as you can. But even if it is a little later, just start. Get started. You can't reach the goal if you don't start.
There's three things that we need to be doing. And the reason most people's finances aren't in order is because their house isn't in order. All right. The way to make sure your finances are in order, you got to do these three things. First, pay your tithes. Second, pay yourself. And then third, pay your bills. Now, the reason most people's finances aren't in order is because, one, I know a lot of people that don't pay tithes. They don't give God his piece at all. And then are mad that he hadn't blessed, that he hadn't given them the millions and billions that he's promised them when they haven't done their part. All righty. Then the reason why you pay yourself after you pay the provider is because you're the one that did the work. What are you going to work 50, 60 hours a week for and not have anything to show for it? Because it's not going to save itself. So you got to pay yourself after you pay the Lord his 10 off the top. And then lastly, you pay your bills. This is how you're able to stay afloat even when it feels like the ship is sinking. Because every check after you gave God his 10% for providing the opportunity, you put 10% away for you. Now, what does that leave? 80% left. So it's not like I'm saving 60, giving God 40. I'm not doing any of that. And we're still taking care of our bills. But don't spend your retirement at the club. Don't spend your retirement at Starbucks because you didn't put it away. So that's why you reorganize yourself by paying your tithes first, paying yourself second, and then paying your bills. And watch how your life changes.
So when you say pay yourself second, do you mean that's the amount you invest?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the amount you invest.
Investing or the profit you're saving for retirement. Yes. Whichever one, however you get with your financial provider, and they set it up, that's what's second. Yes, ma'am.
So I hear you've talked about IRAs. Why don't you talk about 401k?
Okay.
What do you
So
think about 401ks?
you said what I think about 401ks?
Mhm.
So I am a fan of a 401k if the employer is matching you. That is the main reason, like, I really do like 401ks, because a lot of times you're getting free money. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not invested in like super lucrative investments. You're not going to get like a very high return on the money that you're investing, but what you are getting is the free money. So I always recommend, if your employer is going to match you, invest what they're going to match. So if they're going to give you 3%, and or dollar for dollar up to 8%, put in 8%, right? Get that free money. But if they're not giving you any free money, I'm not necessarily as much of a fan of a traditional IRA, i.e. a 401k. I would prefer you go towards a Roth IRA, because a Roth IRA is really like that best kept secret. Because the thing is, with the Roth IRA, you can put away, especially under the age of 50, you can put away $6,000 tax free. Like, they already are assuming the money is taxed going into this account. So it goes into the account. It basically grows tax free, and you take it out tax free. So it's the perfect diversification or balance to a 401k. But if you do not have that 401k, you definitely need a Roth IRA. Like we said, you can stash $6,000 away tax free, each year. Well, that's going to grow tax free each year, versus with a 401k, it's not taxed. So it's gonna, all the growth you're gonna be taxed on. When it's time to take it out, you're gonna be taxed on it. So I definitely do like 401ks if you are matched by your employer. But if you are not matched by your employer, I recommend just taking all that money that you can and starting with a Roth if your tax bracket allows it.
So how can you tell if you're dealing with someone who is not legit?
Oh, that's a good one.
Are they licensed?
That's it. That's it. Check their license. If they're an investment licensed person, you can check them out on FINRA Broker Check. You can literally go and look us up on FINRA Broker Check. See, FINRA is the self-regulating organization that monitors and keeps all of the investment world together. Pretty much, FINRA, the SEC. So FINRA has a broker check where you can go and actually look up your agent. You can look up if they have any complaints against them. You can look all that up. So definitely make sure they're licensed. We're not going out here talking about TikTok University. Not saying that they're not licensed, but just check the credentials. Broker check. Check their credential. I mean, if it's the insurance agent, Department of Insurance for their state, like, there should be a paper trail of their credentials. So look them up. They're available.
And
So
then
you'll definitely have to give me that link so I can post it in the chat so everyone can look up. So make sure they're licensed. What else? What else are some of the red flags?
so some of the red flags, another red flag would be verifying the company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I love is that being in such a highly regulated industry, our company protects us, so there's nothing, so we can't do anything illegal. But our competition, misinformation, the credentials of the company and how long it's been established, and if it's accredited or not. You got to look at all of those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And more so thinking, if someone is pushing products versus education, I always think there's some sort of ulterior motive. Because if you were pushing education, I'm educating you, like Jonathan and I, our goal, we educate you, and then we basically show you what you would need to make those informed decisions. So we show you the products, list it all out, teach you about what you need, and then we're laying out the products, versus saying, oh, you need to get this because of this, this, and that. Most of the time, they're just pushing those products because it pads their pockets, right? So if they're leading with education, and I mean, I would hope that you can feel like, through discernment, you can feel somebody's, their heart. You can feel even from how they're dealing with you. I would just take the time, research them, research some things that maybe, social media, like we were kind of talking about earlier. You can look anyone up on Facebook, right? Are you kind of posting or aligning with some of the things that you're teaching me about, or that you're trying to push me into, or am I seeing you kind of like, oh, shady light? Are you over here like info on these posts that are like, oh, comment info so that I can cash up you $3,000? That's not real. So just kind of checking those credentials, fact checking, and then, like I said, social media really makes everything a little bit easier. You can really kind of hunt people down and figure out, okay, what are you really about? But I think leading with that education first is definitely a good indication that you're in the hands of someone who cares about your well-being versus that's just trying to pad their pockets.
Yep. And if you need help, just call us. We got you.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to present your website, and then you can tell us about the services that you actually provide. So tell us about Prime America.
Awesome. So yes, so that is our main page. They do give us our individual rep pages as well. But Primerica Financial Services is an amazing company. They basically focus on, like we said, financial education. Like you see there, we were founded as one of the number one most trustworthy financial companies. Forbes is not like shy of Primerica, and Forbes, you can't scam your way, really into Forbes, right? New York Stock Exchange, you can scam your way into a lot of things, but you can't scam your way into those things. So just a level of excellence that we, strive to continue to provide for our clients and our agents. So this is our actual website. It's our agent page. If you scroll down, it does focus on some of the educational aspects. It lets you know where our office is. What we do with Primerica, our mission is just to help families earn more income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. So also right there, like we said, that you can check the credentials. It tells you right there, this person is licensed. There's FINRA broker check. You can click right there and go to the link and you can look up anyone. So that's where you can find me. I'm right there with Brea J. Dingle. Look, I don't have any complaints thus far. Thank you, Lord. Please let it stay that way. But yes, it lets you know the states that you're licensed in and everything. So the website really does, it teaches some of the things that we teach. It focuses on concepts. We teach concepts like investing concepts, like the rule of 72. What type of insurance is good for you? As you see, there's auto and home insurance. We also license and train agents, so we bring them on and train them as well. So we offer a lot of different financial services through our company, including mutual funds, annuities, like we said, opportunities, prepaid legal protection, wills, trust, right? All those type of things for businesses and senior health care. So we really are like the Amazon of financial industry, or the financial service industry. And, Amazon has changed the game for the retail industry. You can literally find everything on Amazon, and Primerica strives to be that for the financial industry. Is your one-stop financial shop with home delivery.
Yes, ma'am.
I wish I would have thought of that, Amazon.
Yeah, yes. And those are some of the concepts that we teach. We teach it to them on like a one-on-one basis, but if they need a refresher, it'll go back and show you some of the same concepts. Just, and that was kind of talking about the high cost of waiting, right? Yeah, if you wait a year to invest, let's say you're only doing $100, you might save, 1,200. However, you might have lost out on, two, three, 400,000 in the long run. So that's kind of what that's showing you. So it's going over some of those same concepts that we do teach our clients in a one-on-one basis, and kind of educate them on.
Yep. This company changed our life.
Absolutely.
We've been working with them the last 7 years, hands down. What I love about us is the opportunity. Okay. Not only yes we make good money doing the business, but the thing is, it's giving somebody else a chance to get paid what they're worth. That's why Forbes awards us so much. We have more people making over $100,000 a year than any other company on the planet. Same with 200,000, 300,000. We have more $1 million earners as a company than any other company on the planet right now. All because we focus on educating through finances
and doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing
all the time, 100% of the time.
Yes, ma'am. So if y'all haven't, for those that are watching, if you haven't heard of Primerica, get with us or get with somebody that does know something positive about it, and let's get you some information. I promise you it'll be the best 30 minutes you ever spend in your life.
And just to kind of throw this in there, I was actually a client before I was an agent. So when my grandmother passed away, my mom, we had this service. And when I tell you just how they took care of us, how quickly, it was literally no like exaggeration, 8 days that death claim was in our hands. And of course, we give it back to have our grandmother back. However, I mean, it came right on time. Everything was taken care of. My mom didn't have to stress over the services. Everything was nice, laid out. And my grandma literally left both of her children and her grandchildren a little piece. And that's, all that she really wanted to do. She sat out and was like, hey, I want to give this one this percent. This one got a baby, so I'm gonna give this one a little bit more of a percentage. So just watching my grandma go through that and then watch it actually be delivered was life changing.
Yeah. And then I'm one of those. I'm a beneficiary of a life insurance policy. So my stepfather passed. He had prostate cancer, and he had life insurance, which is part of the reason why I joined the industry, is because I was like, man, I understand how much of a difference having a life insurance policy does, especially when it's the right kind. When we would have loved to have him back, but he took care of all five kids with that one life insurance policy. Paid off my college and my mom. He set us up for success.
Mm-hmm.
All because he wasn't selfish. All because he took an hour to 2 hours out of his time to think about his kids and get his affairs in order. And we don't know when God's gonna call us home. But what we do know is if we're set up, regardless, it's gonna take care of itself. It's up to us. We can't control how many seeds grow, but we can control how many seeds we throw. So let's just keep planting seeds. You be that seed that grows, that feeds your family for a lifetime, and you can do that through life insurance and properly investing.
Wonderful. So, what do you say to that person that's scrolling through and they just run across this Touching You talk show? What's that? Jonathan. That's a Brea. What? That's a weird name. And then they start watching and they're having financial problems right now and don't know where to turn. What do you say to them?
I definitely say, if possible, look, contact us. That's what we do, right? We customize financial plans. We see where you are currently, or get with the primary representative in general. But we see where you are currently. Where do you want to go? And we tell you the step by step guide on how to get there. We literally customize like a GPS plan. I don't know about you, but I am someone that I need my GPS. If I don't have it, I'm going way off track, right? We do that for families' finances because money is something that we use every single day. But most of us have not been taught exactly what to do with it in order to be successful. So we have to, for one, take a look at our situation for what it really is. That's the main thing. We can't be in denial on what we're actually dealing with. How much money are you bringing in? How much is coming out? Where can you cut back, right? Get life insurance. I don't care how little bit you have left over each month. If you have a family that's dependent on you, get life insurance. And I also don't care how little it might be. You also need to be investing. Your future self will thank you. So those things are get with a licensed financial coach so they can map you out a plan, look at your situation for what it is, not what it could be. What are you bringing in right now, right? What do you have tangible right now? Where can you cut back right now? And then after that full assessment, make sure that you have life insurance in place and make sure that you're taking the time to invest. And everything else will fall in place. And tithe, like you said, make sure you tithe. Tithe them first. Look, rewind all of that. Tithe first, then everything else I said.
Tithe and don't stop tithing. Yeah. That's the other thing I was supposed to say. Because a lot of times people, they'll just pay 1 month. But tithing is that contract with God, y'all. It is. So if you start tithing, you have to continue to tithe, because if you stop, that's saying God don't trust it no more. And that's the last thing. That's the last thing you want to be doing. And for y'all, and to answer your question, Elder Sheila, you said, what would I say to those that stopped to watch the show? One, didn't you learn something? Because in Elder Sheila, the best. Second, you paused on this show for a reason. God had you watch this for a reason. Okay, so reach out to us. Reach out, follow Miss Sheila, follow her, because she has an ordained calling on her life, and everything that she's putting out. If you scrolled by this was meant for you. So share it with somebody else. Be a bridge builder for somebody else. And lastly, but most importantly, be grateful that she decided to be the bridge builder. That way, the people coming behind you and the folks that you share this with could be blessed. And we're thankful that you even had us on the call.
Yes.
I am so happy to have you. Now, I want to ask that you speak to that couple that they're looking at each other like, I don't like you no more. They're married. They're like, I don't like you no more. Or
Well,
you
Yeah,
like,
go ahead and talk.
what do you say to that couple that's struggling to encourage them to just hang in there?
yes. Well, I will say, I mean, remember what it was that brought y'all together. Sometimes you got to sit down and make a list, right? Like just be grateful, kind of what he was talking about. What are some of the things that you're grateful for? What are some of the things that your partner does that you absolutely just love? What made you fall in love with them, right? And just kind of get back to that. Now, do understand that you're not the same person you were when you first got with them. So when you are in a marriage, you're committing to loving this person through every season of their life, right? Every season of your life. And you're also going to continue to grow. So I definitely would say this. Hey, also take that love language quiz. That love language quiz is on point, right? It tells you, how your partner loves, how they want to be loved. It gives you tips, and just be intentional. I think people start to work on their marriage when it's not when it's too late, because it's never too late, but when it's already a problem, versus making it a thing to start working on your marriage like from the beginning. Jonathan and I do so many different things. We talk about one of the business ventures that we're going to relay out to the world really soon is a couples retreat. And it shouldn't be just because you're, going through something. No, it needs to be when everything is great. When everything is great, we still need to work on our marriage. When everything is bad, we definitely need to work on our marriage. But if we work on it while it's great, while it's good, we can kind of avoid it getting to that point of not being so great. It's especially if y'all both are intentional with making sure that you're loving your partner how they need to be loved. You're doing the things that you can do. And honestly, all you can control is all you can control. So you can't make your partner love you how you need them to love you. They have to make that decision to learn how you want to be loved and choose if they're going to love you in that manner. And then at the same time, you have the option to say, hey, this is how I want to be loved. I'm not being loved like this. Let's work on it, right? So it's definitely give and take, but it is 100% intentional. Everything is being intentional with your partner. And I always do say, just stay friends. Like, this is my dog,
That's dog.
like
yeah.
We'll say that all the time. This is we go do fun
like, even
stuff.
when I'm mad at you and I don't want to hang with you, you still my dog.
Okay.
So, what you doing?
Yeah.
That would be my biggest thing is one, if y'all are in a dark spot, stop and look for the light within yourself first. That way you can give your partner the okay to shine their light too. I feel like so many times stop comparing your relationship to other relationships.
That's the one.
That's the biggest thing. Because I think people have unrealistic expectations of a relationship that they haven't put in the work in to understand. So you basing your relationship off of somebody else's. Y'all didn't go through those situations. Y'all don't have the same upbringing. Y'all don't have the same foundation. So your roots aren't going to grow the same. So for you in your specific relationship, take accountability for whatever you're doing first, because your partner's not
or not
doing both. Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. You got to own yourself. You got to own your stuff first. Okay, because in order for me to be a great partner for her, I have to take care of myself. Now, I'm saying I prefaced it with that because I'm not saying be selfish. I'm saying I have to be aware with my likes and my dislikes. That way I can communicate it to her. If once I know what I'm bringing to the table, it's then my job to work on my communication so I can speak it into a way where she can understand it, accept it, and give me back what I need. And I have to be open to receiving her communication, even if I don't initially like the tone, like how it's said, or really like it at all. Let's just be honest with you. We're gonna do some real talk. Men, we got to stop being sensitive and start being leaders. Women, same thing. We can't be sensitive, but we have to be. You have to also give men room to grow, and give your woman room to grow, because, like my wife said in the beginning, you're not the same person you were yesterday, and you shouldn't be. I think that's the thing too. Folks have a growth-based relationship.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to say that.
I don't want her to be
sir. Say that again.
I'll say one more time, just for you guys. Have a foundation of growth in your relationship.
Grow together, read together, pray together, right? I mean, it's not good if one person is learning and growing over there, but the other person is just sitting there stuck in their ways. Y'all gonna grow apart. And that's gonna be intentional. Everything is intentional, whether you are, thinking it's intentional or not.
At all times, you're either growing together or you're growing apart, because you're supposed to be growing every day. So I got to be intentional on growing. If you watch a seed when it's planted, the roots go deep first and then it sprouts, right?
Right.
I can't control how high up that sprout is going to go. But what can I do? I can control the environment. I can't control how she's going to take what I say or what she's going to do with what I say, but what I can control is the environment. I can make sure that my house is a welcoming environment, a safe space where she can feel at home, that's clean, that's provided for. There are things that I can control. And that's why we said in the beginning, control what you can control and make sure that you're growing. Because if I know that I have to take care of her and she has to take care of me, and we commit to each other, one of us can't be lazy. I think that's the other problem, Elder Sheila, is people are used to doing 50-50 relationships, and there's no such thing. It's 100 and 100. And I tell my wife this, and I tell my agents, it's like, hey, you give me 100%, I'll give you 150. Why? Because there is more that you can give, even when you feel like you've given it all. So for those that are in a tough relationship, one, ask yourself, has it always been like this? If the answer to that question is no, then say, what can I do to get it close to what I want it to be? And then, am I willing to do whatever I need to do to create that new space? And if those answers are yes, then you're not in a dead end relationship, baby. You just need to talk to your spouse a little bit more. You just need to fight a little bit harder, but not fight them. Y'all are together. We fight the world, but we build each other up. I tell everybody this: hey, your partner and in your relationship, you should cover each other's weaknesses and leverage each other's strengths. That way, you're bulletproof to the world. Hope that helps.
Man, you have so many things I need to be tweeting right now. I feel like I hear a marriage journal, all of that in the world.
Hey,
Well, I appreciate you all just coming on the show. It has really been a delight and a joy to have you. So, before we go, can I ask that you, Jonathan, just say a simple prayer for the people that are listening? And then, we see that Alice is on the line, and we want to say again, thank you so much, Alice, for being our program director tonight. She is such a great woman of God. So, if you would just say a quick prayer, and then we'll let everyone go.
yes, ma'am, I'd be honored to. All right, let's take it to the Lord. Father God, thank you. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for your protection, and thank you for your love. We ask that you open up your windows of blessings and prosperity over everybody on this call, everybody connected to somebody on this call. Lord, we are so thankful that Elder Sheila was obedient to you when you gave her this dream of this show. And we're so thankful for her network and for the opportunity to be here. Lord, we ask that you continue to provide excellence, abundance, and give her everything that she needs to take everything that she has and that you have given her to the next level. Lord, we ask that the men and women on this call, that they were touched, that they were inspired, that they're moved to be the difference that you need them to be in the world that you have them walking in. And we ask that you protect them. We ask that you open up your healing powers to those that are sick, to those that are going through divorce. We ask that you bridge and intercede in the gap. For those children that may be going through some things, we ask that you be that provider. For those that are having mental health issues, we ask that you be the friend that they need. Father, we don't know what all the needs are, but we ask that you fill them. And we do these things in your name because we know you have the power, and we know that we have not because we ask not, so we're asking you. In Yah's name we pray and thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you everyone for just being a part of the show tonight. We ask that you would share this. This has been such great information. It went from financial wisdom all the way to marriage wisdom. So this has been a twofold show. This should have been two different shows, but you got it all in once. You got it all in one. So I ask that you would share, just share it. All of this information, somebody can use it. Somebody can use it. And for those who are watching on demand, if you have any questions, go ahead and type it in the chat. We will see it and we will get back to you. I did put the information that you can get in touch with Jonathan and Brea, and then so they can give you those financial solutions that you need to take your finances to the next level. I am going to let you take a look at what I'm doing, yeah, so we can see what I need to do next. So I'll be making that appointment with you.
Awesome.
And
Really,
I encourage everyone else, just give it a chance. It's not too late. It's never too late. Don't you agree, Jonathan? It's never
yes,
too
ma'am. It's never too
Absolutely.
late.
you can
Today can be the day that you change your life. The
absolutely.
question is do you believe it? Are you willing to change your life? Because every day that you wake up is a day that you get closer to what God has for you if you walk in obedience.
All right. Well, this has been Touching You Talk Show, and we will see you next week. Have a great day, everyone.
Y'all be blessed.